Hi, my love. This is going to be your seance session. Seance session. That's a little bit of a tongue twister. So for your seance reading, I already did the channeled portion. So the way that this reading goes is I sit and meditate on the question, the people involved, you, all of the above. And I write notes from what I was getting, my experiences, And so I'm going to relay this portion of the reading to you. And then we're going to go into the tarot reading portion as part 2. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to have the camera on me or if I just wanted it on the table. But feel free to place this, whatever you're watching this video with, if you're probably most likely your phone, to set it aside. I'm not really going to be doing any show and tell or anything right now. This is just the channeled portion of the reading, so I'm just going to go over my notes. So like I said, I already did the channeled portion off camera because otherwise it would just take too long. So I'm just going to go over exactly what came through. And then we will do part 2, which is your tarot reading, so the tarot reading session. So I'm going to go ahead and light the candle. I always have a candle going when I'm doing readings, but lighting the candle is symbolic for inviting spirit into the space, setting the sacred space and the tone for the reading. So let's light this up. It's also a crackle candle, so you're going to be hearing this throughout the session, okay? So let me put my candle down. Okay, and I'm gonna have a labradorite in my hand, just in case you were like, what's in your hand? So nice to meet you, my love. My name is Rose, and I'm going to be your reader today. I don't know if I've read for you in the past. If I have, cool. If I haven't, this is your first time, I'm really excited. Thank you for booking this session with me. So keep in mind when we do channeled portions, when I do channeled portions with spirit, I'm not here to interpret their messages for you. That's solely for you to do as you connect with your loved ones. So I'm here to deliver what I'm seeing, feeling, hearing. And then it's up to you to kind of make the connection, because obviously I'm not going to know what something is because I didn't live that life with you. You know what I mean? So I'm here to just kind of give you what I received, and then it's up to you to do what you want with that information. Okay? So let's just get right into it. Okay. So, and also this video will remain unlisted, which means it's only available to view for you and myself. Anyone you want to share this reading with or show it to, you will need to send them the link that I send to you in email, okay? So this is a private reading, so I'm going to go ahead and use names. So you asked to connect with your best friend, Bonnie, who passed away in a car accident in '99. And also TD Betty, who passed away in 2016 Christmas morning, okay? You want any messages that come through from them. So what I have here is I have this page, and this page of some notes, okay? So here we go. So first thing I saw when I was connecting with spirit, or just kind of tuning in, was I received the image of a dove, a white dove flying through clouds. Okay, now my first instinct when I saw the dove was I asked myself, was there doves released in any of the funerals of the people that have passed that you're asking of? The other thing that I put down is that, so I put down funeral ? Okay, the other thing I put down is the dove, or the whole image of angel wings also came up in my mind. So I put angel wings and feathers, but they're white, particularly white. So I feel like for you, a sign, so now here I'm going to explain. When spirit is connecting with us, or when spirit is present, they will often give us signs so that we either are acknowledging that they're there, it's just kind of like a subtle, hey, I'm here, Like, here's a sign, okay? So I wrote down white equals there with you, okay? But it has to, it's specifically white, because that's what I saw. So if you come across, like, for example, a white feather when you're walking randomly, and it's usually when it's really random, like a random place to find a feather, okay? That's how you know. Intuitively you'll sense it, but that's how you know it's spirit connecting with you. So specifically white feathers, that they're with you, okay? I also got an image of animals in theme parks. Okay, so I don't know if like the animals it was just in general animals. I feel like more so with your best friend. I feel like with Bonnie was showing the image of animals, but also theme parks. If this was something that the two of you did, I'm getting chills now as I'm saying it, so I'm taking as a validation that they are present again because I'm talking about them. But Bonnie was showing me theme parks, so I don't know if there was like a specific fond memory that you may have with Bonnie being at a theme park, if animals, like a petting zoo kind of a thing, if that was a big deal, you know, a fond memory. But that's kind of like the image or the impression that I was receiving, was like a petting zoo with animals, and then also theme parks, okay? So like I said, when I'm getting these messages, I just write it down real fast. I'm not trying to like nitpick and like get the message, like what is interpreted from it. I just like to jot it down and then give you I'm just gonna lay it all on you so you can you can register it at your own time, at your own pace. I also wrote down dizzy spells. So I don't know, I feel like this was spirit kind of saying something more so for you, that maybe you experience dizzy spells, or you experience like you just don't, like you feel like you're discombobulated, kind of a feeling, like you just feel out of sorts at times. I don't know if this is like something that you have a medical condition with, or maybe it's like you know how like some people have vertigo and they just get real dizzy. But for some reason, Spirit really wanted me to pinpoint dizzy spells. So they're acknowledging that something about you. The other thing is stomach in knots. So I was really starting to feel the physical impression of my stomach being in knots, like whether it was like, for me, it started to feel like stomach ache. So I put that with a question mark. But I wrote down stomach knots, like my stomach was just in knots due to nervousness or just not feeling well. So I'm feeling like the dizzy spell and the stomach knots was like Spirit's way of telling you, you know, or acknowledging that they are aware, or for you to be more aware of your health. Okay, so your health in terms of that. So I don't know if that's something you deal with, or you've been feeling dizzy, or you've been feeling your stomach in knots lately, or maybe you received messages and you don't know how to deal with like like you don't know how to deal when you feel like when you feel like Spirit is trying to connect with you, and maybe it freaks you out. I don't know, maybe you get nervous and that's where you just feel it in your stomach. The other thing is I asked for both of them to show me an image in the cards of who they want to be portrayed as, okay? So characters in the tarot. I don't know how familiar you are with the tarot, but for Betty, I got the Queen of Cups, okay? So for TT, I hope I'm saying that right, TT, Betty, Queen of Cups. So Queen of Cups is a very emotionally connected, therapeutic mama bear, like a mama bear kind of an energy. The Queen of Cups is somebody that you can sit and talk to. This is someone who's going to listen. This is someone who's going to communicate with you. It's someone that it's like, come and sit down, let's have a cup of coffee and let's discuss what's going on in your life kind of energy, okay? And then Bonnie was showing me Temperance. And Temperance is like the energy, to me, I see Temperance as like an energy of patience, but it's also an energy of kind of like, same with like Libra season. So I don't know, maybe Bonnie's a Libra, but to me, Temperance is kind of like constantly indecisive, not able to make up their mind. They're constantly hot and cold, they're moody, or they could be like all over the place. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of Temperance energy. Just somebody who's not able to commit 100%. They're always like 99.9, but there's always like that one little point keeping them from being fully invested into anything that they do. Also, I like that Bonnie shows herself as the Temperance, because Temperance in the Rider-Waite, I don't have the Rider-Waite around me right now, or else I would show you, but Temperance is displayed as an angel. And so I feel like Bonnie is kind of showing that as a sign that she is your guardian angel. I also feel like with the wings portrays a big message, which I'm going to get into. Okay. So then I put in quotation marks, with you always, especially when driving. Okay. So Bonnie is specifically around you when you're driving. Okay. And then I got the image of wings. So that this is where this whole Temperance thing came into play, where I was like, oh, now I see why you're showing me Temperance. So Bonnie is pretty much acting as like a guardian angel. She's around you. She's protecting of you, especially when you were in the car. And it makes sense because of the way that Bonnie left this planet, that it was through a car. So she's going to be very protective of you on that aspect. So the vision that they gave me was wings enveloping around the car. Okay. So I feel like it's like Bonnie or Spirit is putting the wings on the car to kind of keep you protective as you are driving. I put, guiding you through your relationships. So Bonnie also does this too. I put in parentheses, guiding you through your relationships. For more so, I was feeling this with Bonnie's connection to you, but I feel like she's been present with you through a lot of your relationships, and more so through the breakups. So because that's what I put next, is she's been there during the breakups. So there might have been times, and I'm getting chills again, so I feel like that's a validation. There's times where I feel like Bonnie is around you, or okay, there's times where I feel like when you are going through a breakup, you really feel alone in that space, because going through a breakup is one of the hardest things. And when you are losing someone, or when you have lost somebody who played a significant role in your life while growing up, something like a breakup can re-spark all of that like pain and loss all over again. So I'm feeling like when you were going through a breakup, or there's like maybe a specific breakup that you went through, that you were feeling really alone. I feel like Bonnie was validating that she was there present during that experience with you. Okay. Okay, so then, now this is the way Spirit works. So sometimes like they'll come in with one like message, and then like boom, like there will be something completely on left field that just is not connected whatsoever with the message we just talked about. So then I saw spaghetti. Okay. I saw spaghetti dinner, and I put question marks for that. So spaghetti dinners, was that a thing? Was that a thing with you and your past loved ones? Was spaghetti a favorite? I don't know. I saw spaghetti, so I wrote it down. And then I saw sitting around the dinner table talking for hours. So there's a specific table, and there's like a specific, like just a memory. I feel like it was a memory of just being able to sit around and talking with this person. This could be with Bonnie, or this could have been with your TT Betty. I also put in quotation marks, I put, you've had many accomplishments, stop settling. So I feel like this is your TT Betty coming through saying that. That she's acknowledging that you've done a lot in life, and you've had a lot of accomplishments. You don't give yourself enough credit for that. And then also she's saying stop settling. So she's really urging you. And then I put another quotation marks, I put go big or go home. So I feel like that's a specific thing that she's saying to you, is that you need to go beyond, okay? Go beyond your limits. Don't settle for just like what you think is enough. Because I feel like your TT Betty knows that there's like more, there's more for you to do out there. And she wants to see you keep striving for it. So she's really urging you not to settle. I also put urging you to continue your path, school, study. So I wrote down school and study in parentheses, because I wasn't sure exactly what she was kind of saying, but the impression that she was giving me was to continue with schooling or studying of some sort of thing. So there was something that maybe you veered off the path, or maybe you just lost interest. Maybe, after losing her, perhaps, maybe you just kind of lost interest in a certain path that you were once really heavily involved in. So she wants to see you get back into it, okay? And then she put, in quotation marks, I wrote, see you in dreams. So there have been instances where you have been dreaming of your past loved ones. I want you to know that when you have dreams of them, it's a validation that they are visiting with you, okay? And a lot of times we see them in our dream state because our subconscious is taking center stage. So when our subconscious is taking control, like our consciousness, like our egos, in other words, our minds, our brains are kind of like on sleep mode. And so when we're not actively thinking or trying to counter attack every thought that comes in our mind, we're freeing up a lot of space to experience visitations from spirit or messages from spirit in that way. So you definitely see them in their dreams, or they see you in your dreams. It's like the way for you guys to meet up. I also, so after I wrote that down, I felt a cool breeze sensation at the back of my neck. So I'm here in my tarot room. I have a fan on very slowly, but I don't have the window open or anything, but I felt significant cool breeze right on the back of my neck. It felt like as if someone was blowing cool air onto my neck. That's how it felt. So I don't know if this is maybe something you have experienced yourself. Maybe you get random chills, because I have gotten a couple chills since we started this session. But those are all validations for you, physical validations that yes, they are making contact with you. I also put kisses, like in parentheses. I wrote kisses. So I feel like oftentimes maybe your titi Betty kisses you like gives you little kisses, right? So it could be like kind of that thing. It feels like a butterfly kiss, okay? And then I also wrote scented candles, a flickering flame when we are present. So that's why I wanted to light the, let's see if I don't light myself on fire. That's why I wanted to light the flickering candle, to show you as an example. So you know, like when sometimes you light a candle and the flame is just really still, sometimes you will hear a crackle in your flame, or it will be flickering really fast when spirit is around. So this one, not so much, because it's obviously supposed to be like this, but if you light a candle with the intention that, let's say like you light a candle on Bonnie's birthday, and you ask, you set the intention like, Bonnie, this is, happy birthday, I'm lighting this candle for you. And then it starts to flicker or it starts to spark or something. Just know that that's a validation that they're saying that we will make that happen as a sign for you to know that we are around. Okay. But for some reason, they don't want just any candle. They want a scented candle. And then I put quick thoughts, not your own, it equals us. So they're pretty much saying that if you have a quick fleeting thought that is like so random out of left field, and you didn't control that thought, that's a validation that they are placing that into your mind. Okay. So I feel like there's been times, or maybe like you're driving or whatever, and something random pops into mind, and it's almost like a reminder for something that you were going to forget. Oftentimes that's like spirit doing that for you. Okay. Okay. So then I put dad, smile more. So I don't know. I put in parentheses, tell him this to smile more. I don't know whose dad, what dad, does your TT Betty have a brother? Like, I don't know, but they're saying dad, smile more. And then I put, tell him. So if you know exactly like what that is or who's that for, please, if you want to, you can tell him, but it's up to you. And then I got, you create your own energy, protect you. So I feel like they were saying that you create your own moods, right? If you want a good day, you're going to have to manifest a good day. If you're going to have a bad day, but you want to switch it up, it's up to you to create your mood, for your energy for that day. And then they put protect you. So they're here for protection. They're here to protect you. They're here to watch over you, especially when you're driving. And then also especially in relationships. Like, especially Bonnie, like, watches over you all the time with that stuff. I feel like when Bonnie was saying that she watches your relationships, she's living vicariously through you. She didn't get to experience a lot of that stuff yet. So it was kind of like she's living that memory with you, even though she's not physically there. Okay. I also put crackle. So this is another like random crackle in the fireplace. Same as the candle, I'm there. So I feel like this was your TT Betty saying that. And then I just was instantly taken back to like Christmas. So like I feel like TT Betty, maybe fireplace was her thing. She liked to light fires in the house. And that was like a thing for Christmas time for her. But when you hear a loud crackle in the fireplace, know that that's her. I put also in quotation marks, need new ornament for me. So I feel like, I don't know if you have a specific ornament for both of them or TT Betty, but one of them, and I feel like it's TT Betty, is saying, I need a new ornament. That one made me laugh when I wrote it down because I was just like, okay. And then I wrote down a main chair sits in to listen. So there's a main chair in the household. Something about a specific chair. Did you inherit a chair from one of them? Was there a specific chair that TT Betty loved to sit in? Again, I was just getting like the image of a house, Christmas time with a tree and the sparks going on in the fireplace. And I feel like TT Betty had a space that she liked to sit in. There was a favorite chair or something like that where she just liked to listen. Music, listen to the family. I don't know. But that's kind of the environment that I was getting. And then I got a young boy. So I put a young boy question mark, a son question mark. I don't know. I just was getting an image of a boy and I was seeing him, and I put sees him grow riding a bike. I don't know if you have a son. If you do, perhaps that is a validation that they are there around watching him, that they see him, that they acknowledge him. But there's a young boy riding a bike. I don't know if this is a fond memory. Is this someone special to Bonnie? Did Bonnie have a little brother? Or did Bonnie have a son? I don't know. Like I'm saying, I don't want to read into it because I don't know the specifics like that, and I'm not here to interpret that. So I'm just gonna place that there for you. And if you make your connections with it, that's what came through. I also wrote down, pay attention to subtle hints. We are never gone. So I feel like maybe there's times where you question if what you were receiving was really a message. Sometimes you feel like a lot of time has passed, especially with Bonnie, and you question, did she really even exist? Like, yeah, I know how that feels because I lost my brother a couple years ago, and so sometimes it's just like he's turned into a memory, and so it's like, man, sometimes it feels like it never really happened, like he never really existed, but I know he did. You know what I mean? So I feel like they're right there saying that we're never gone, we're still around, but pay attention to subtle hints. So they send you messages, you just have to be open to it and be aware of it. Like I said, white feathers, things like that. Then they showed me a pen and paper, write your thoughts. So if someone's telling you to journal more, maybe you were once a big journaler, but they're saying to write down your thoughts. You need to get them out of your mind and start writing it on paper. Then I put song on the radio, think of me. So I feel like this is Bonnie, but it could be both of them. Like I said, they were both there throwing in the messages. So sometimes it was hard to differentiate from who, but for some reason, song on the radio, think of me. So is there a specific song that comes on the radio when you're listening to it that you have a fond memory of? Either of them, both of them, or one of them, but there's a specific song that does that to you. And so they're acknowledging it, that they recognize that too. Then I wrote down bracelet / anklet, friendship. So I don't know if you had this with Bonnie, but just, I think it's an anklet, but I put bracelet too, because I guess, it could be either or. But it was a friendship bracelet or friendship anklet, something like that. And then I wrote down MTV TRL. So this is gonna date me, but back in the day, like, I loved watching MTV TRL. That was a big thing. I don't even think it exists anymore. I don't know if that was something that the two of you like to watch, or if that was like, maybe you like to watch it after the fact. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, that's what's popping up. MTV was coming up. And then I put happening for a reason. The right ear equals ringing. It's Bonnie. So happening for a reason. I scribbled that real fast. So I feel like everything happens for a reason perhaps, or they're just trying to tell you or remind you, like, especially when you're going through some hard stuff, things happen for a reason, and sometimes it doesn't always make sense right now, but it will. And then I put the right ear ringing is Bonnie. So I feel like the subtle like kisses on the neck, or like the feeling the air or someone's blowing on your neck, or the chills, I feel like that's more so your TT Betty. But I feel like when Bonnie's communicating with you, it's through the right ear. So you're gonna hear ringing. At least that's specifically what she says. And then she's very much around you, especially in the car, okay? So that is that portion of your reading. We're gonna go ahead and get into part 2. Okay, so now we're gonna do part 2 of your session, and this is going to be the tarot reading. I'm gonna be using my spooky themed deck since this is the theme for the season. So I'm gonna be using my Bohemian Gothic Tarot, and we're just gonna dive into it. Actually, they're actually showing me to get another. Let me get my other one. I just don't want to get them mixed up. Okay, so this is the. Okay. So I have a couple of different. I have a couple copies of the same edition. This is the silver. This is the 3rd edition. So they're showing me to pull cards from the same deck, but using 2 different decks. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Look at who's on top. Queen of Cups. So hello, TT Betty, you're here. That would be really funny. Okay, no, it's not. Okay, no, it's not. But that would like freak me out. Okay, so TT Betty obviously is going to be with the Bohemian Gothic, the silver edition, and then this will be for Bonnie. Okay, so that's how we're gonna differentiate the 2. Nope. All right, so. So first off, with what Bonnie is showing, we have the Hangman, the 5 of Wands, we have the Devil, and we have the 6 of Pentacles. I feel like Bonnie's trying to be humorous right now with the Devil card. I'm just gonna say that. Like, I feel like she's trying to spook you, but it's you know, it is what it is. So what I'm seeing here is challenges with substance. It could be substance abuse. It could be challenges with okay, so you mentioned that Bonnie passed away in a car accident. Did it have anything to do with drunk driving? Not Bonnie, maybe not Bonnie so much, but maybe she was hit by someone who was a drunk driver. That could be one of the cases why the Devil card is coming up. But what I'm seeing here is that, you know, there's issues of dependency. There's issues of like a lot of like, that 5 of Wands is a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, that kind of thing. If maybe Bonnie came from a rough family, and had someone who's very close to her who had substance abuse problems, that could have come up. So I just feel like she's just kind of showing like that, hey, I'm here, this is me. So something to validate that. But Bonnie's energy also was very giving. With the 6 of Pentacles, she was very much a giver. She would give a lot of her attention to people. She, you know, give and take. But I feel like she did come from a rough upbringing. With that Hangman card, the 5 of Wands, it's almost like she didn't know. There were times where she just didn't know what to do with herself. I feel like Bonnie had more of a darker past than she may have disclosed with you or with a lot of people. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Let's see with TT Betty. Let's see how TT Betty wants to validate herself too. Oh, this one wants to come out too. So we have death. We have 10 of Cups, the family. We have the Emperor, the father figure or a husband. And we have the Ace of Swords. So what happened, I feel, so what TT Betty is kind of revealing is I feel like with her own passing, she's talking about her passing, her death, hit the family really, really hard. The 10 of Cups. It's also something she acknowledges that it's a sore spot for the family. That whenever there's a family gathering, especially because of her passing on Christmas, that it's she acknowledges that 10 of Cups being community and a family card. She acknowledges that this was it made for a very difficult time every single time the family comes together. She's acknowledging also that she knows that she tainted Christmas. Like, that's how she feels. She feels like she tainted Christmas for everybody else. The Emperor coming up, this could be her husband. So a husband figure, or this could be a father figure, or maybe it's your father. I don't know how TT Betty is connected to you. I'm assuming she's your aunt, so maybe this is your father's sister, and maybe that's why it's saying dad smile more. Maybe that's that connection. But the Emperor took it really, really hard. Emperor energy coming up took it really, really hard. And then the Ace of Swords is the truth. To me, is the card of truth. It's the card of the mind. So someone in the family has very strong connection with her still. I feel like she's very much alive with this person. So they have a very strong connection with her still. And maybe they don't let it on. They don't like to... they don't want to tell the family because they don't want to sound crazy, but I feel like they have a lot of communication with her. Okay, so let's pull on their messages for you. So I kind of want to just to kind of give a little sneak peek in that. I'm really curious to see what this Devil card really meant. Like, was Bonnie just being funny, or was Bonnie showing some display of like dependency? Was there a substance abuse with the reason why of the car accident? You know, something like that. But I don't want to dig too deep into it. Interesting too, because there's also the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Communication. So I don't want to dig too deep into that, because it's kind of like we don't want to go too deep into how they passed. You know what I mean? Like, it happened. That's what it is. So let's just move on from that. Okay, so let's ask any messages that you guys have for her. Any messages that you want to say. The World, Knight of Swords, Four of Swords, the Lovers. Oh, Two of Pentacles. So there's Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles being the card of indecisiveness, which is what I was saying for Bonnie being temperance, like not able to make up her mind and stuff. There you go. The World card coming up. So we have the World, the Knight of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Lovers. So Bonnie's pretty much telling you that that the cycles that have ended, and all of these experiences, the graduation, big mile marks, birthdays, and things like that. She's there with you through all of it, okay, with the World card. She's there. She has seen accomplishments. She has seen your endings of cycles. She's seen your graduation. She's seen this and that. She's been there with you through all of it, okay? The other things I'm seeing with the Knight of Swords. So a Knight of Swords is a very impulsive type of a figure. This is somebody who's quick to action with their thoughts. Bonnie's pretty much telling you that you need to kind of slow down if you want to connect with her. Your mind goes a mile a minute. You often doubt yourself, that kind of thing. She's also asking you to stop being so impulsive. Stop being so impulsive and don't be reckless, I feel is what she's saying. Four of Swords too, because Four of Swords is a card of needing to calm down, a need to relax, a need to slow down. So I feel like maybe Bonnie's saying this in terms of driving, because like I said, I feel like she's with you in the car more so than any other time. And I feel like she's kind of saying, stop being impulsive with your driving. You need to slow down a little bit. Don't be reckless. And then we have the Lovers, which is, Lovers is not just romance. It's also her way of saying, I love you. I'm here with you. I am your best friend always and forever. And I feel like it's just her way of validating that the friendship, the bond never changed, that she sees you in the same way as she saw you from her last day here. And that just because she's not here in the physicality doesn't mean that she's not around ever. Okay, that's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Let me pull an oracle card. We have the Chimera. Imagination clouds your judgment. Imagination clouds your judgment. So I feel like for that that message with the Chimera, and this is my own tarot reading for you, not just spirit message, but your imagination clouding your judgment is maybe sometimes you're stuck in the fog. Maybe sometimes you have difficulties making up your mind, or you don't take things seriously when you should. I feel like a lot of times we want to live in fantasy land, which totally, I get it. I'm a Pisces. I do that all the time. But there's also a need to face reality. So if you're struggling with that, my love, I feel like this Chimera card is kind of saying, like, sometimes you have to snap out of it. You can't be living in a fog all the time. We have the Emperor, we have the Nine of Pumpkins, and we have the Six of Ghosts. I love it. Six of Ghosts is my own personal tarot card of spirit being around. So to me, like, this is validating that spirit is here. It's a giving and receiving. I feel like the Nine of Pentacles totally displays Bonnie's connection with you. She's around. She's like that little owl sitting on the shoulder. She's there watching you, everything that you do. Also keep in mind owl, birds, because I was seeing like the dove, the feathers associated it. So birds is like a really good clue that spirit is around. And then the other thing with the Emperor, again, with the Emperor coming up, so this could be a father figure. This could be also, I feel, a lover. So I don't know if you're in a relationship right now or whatnot, but I do feel like Bonnie's been around for a lot of your relationships, and she acknowledges those things. Bonnie's definitely been there through the thick and thin, and maybe, you know, because you don't have her there physically, you might feel like she's never been there, but she definitely has been. So I don't know, that Emperor can display a relationship that maybe you were in that was really troubling and hard. Maybe that's kind of connected to the substance abuse. Maybe that was a whole reason of that too. I'm kind of starting to get a hit on that. So maybe there was an ex that dealt with the substance abuse and had the tendency to drink and drive. I don't know, but I feel like Bonnie's just kind of bringing a lot of that stuff up. So, yeah. Okay, let's get into TT Betty. All right. Whoop. TT Betty, let's see. The Ace of Pentacles. TT Betty is definitely your biggest cheerleader when it comes to supporting your decisions and your path, especially career, because that Ace of Pentacles totally recognizes it. Ooh, the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, the Three of Cups. And then we have Temperance as the shadow. So love it. This is Temperance. This is who Bonnie was displaying herself as. Okay, so TT Betty with the Ace of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords and Knight of Pentacles and Three of Cups. So TT Betty is asking you, one, don't be afraid to take opportunities. An Ace of Pentacles is an opportunity given usually with terms of finances, the money, a job or a new job, or searching for something, but also welcoming new things into your life. So TT Betty wants you to keep striving for more. She doesn't want to see you settle. Definitely doesn't want to see you settle. And a Queen of Swords is definitely somebody who is not afraid to test the waters. They're not afraid to speak up on their own behalf. A Queen of Swords is a really kick-ass type of an individual in the tarot. Like, definitely, she definitely can hold her own, okay? So I feel like TT Betty wants you to embrace your confidence and to instill that confidence within yourself. The Knight of Pentacles, is this a lover? Is this are you in a relationship, or is this a lover? Or is the Knight of Pentacles an opportunity that is going to be coming towards you soon? Because he's headed towards the Queen of Swords, right? So I feel like you're going to be faced with a new beginning very soon, an opportunity of some sort. And then we have the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is a card of like togetherness, celebration. I also don't know if you are planning or wanting to have a family, but the way I kind of see that too is like you have an opportunity coming your way, and you have an Ace of Pentacle, and I oftentimes see an Ace of Pentacle as a pregnancy. So if that is something that is planned, maybe TT Betty is like acknowledging that a pregnancy or something, a conception of that some sort. And so maybe the Three of Cups is like turning the 2 family into 3. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that I don't want to dive too far into that topic, because you may not want children or whatnot, so that might just, it may or may not resonate, so I'm just gonna leave it there. But that's like another way that I'm seeing that card, like how she may be interpreting it in her own way. So we have the cards I'm pulling for you. We have Fire. Reckless actions lead to conflict. Oh my god. Remember how I was saying don't drive reckless, like how Bonnie was saying that? Reckless actions lead to conflict. So be very careful with the choices that you make, my love. I feel like that card, that Fire card is coming up, is like sometimes you get a surge of energy. You know, maybe you don't mean to be reckless, or you're not trying to hurt yourself, but at times maybe you don't make the right choices or the best of choices for yourself. So just be very careful, okay? The other thing that I'm seeing is the Minstrel. Let your intentions be known. Really speak up for yourself. A Queen of Swords will always speak up for herself and say what's on her mind. And so you're being guided to speak up for yourself and let your intentions be known. You know, tell people what it is that you want. Tell yourself what it is that you want. You know, there's nothing wrong with speaking up. The Star card came up. The Star card is about healing. The Star card is about having faith, and having that star as like the guiding light to lead you out of the darkness. So maybe TT Betty is tapping into something with you. You're dealing with something emotional lately, or you've just been going through a darker phase in your life. And so the Star card's kind of showing like there's the light at the end of the tunnel is coming, that kind of thing. We have the Judgment card. And we have the Queen of Imps, or the Queen of Wands. So the Judgment card is like higher calling. This is like spirit message. This is God energy. But basically something is trying to get your attention. They're calling to you. They're asking for you to pay attention. And that Star card is like leading the way through. So you have been definitely connecting with your past loved ones, and they are always there with you, but you may not always trust what you're receiving. And the more that you trust it, the more often it will happen. And then the Queen of Wands, I feel, it kind of goes hand in hand with that Ace of Pentacles, where your TT Betty is really wanting you to see you strive for more, go big or go home, like what she was saying before. Is like, don't settle for things if you're not happy. Like, go for more, do it while you can now, you know. And that's exactly what a Queen of Wands does. The Queen of Wands just tackles everything in her midst, everything that she wants and desires. She goes out there and gets it. So very passionate. She comes from the heart source. So I love that. So ultimately, my love, I feel like definitely your past loved ones are definitely around you. I feel like they're around you in certain instances, especially with the driving. I feel like also, you know, you do connect with your past loved ones and you are receiving messages from them, but if you're doubting it all the time, it's kind of like you're dismissing the message, you know? So I urge you, like, the next time that you get a feeling that you might think is a message, literally just tell yourself, yes, that is, and believe it, because the more you do that, the more often it will happen. And so if you truly, really, really want to connect with them, especially this time of year, as we are, you know, as people say, the veil is thinning, spirit is able to connect with us and interact with us so much more easily during this time, then it's a really good time for you to make those connections and have like that reunion with them on a spiritual level, okay? And also just validate that your dreams are legit, okay? You are dreaming and having these experiences. It's all real. So don't underestimate what you are receiving and trust it. So anyways, my love, with that, this is going to conclude your seance reading. Thank you so much for allowing me to connect with you and your loved ones. I hope that this resonated. I hope that you were able to make some connections and have some stuff validated and whatnot. If you have any questions or if you would like to leave feedback for me, please send me an email. And I just wish you all of the best. Have a beautiful rest of your week, and I will talk to you later. Bye, my love.